What a way to step up early.
Yeah, absolutely. Razier's, he started off rough. He lost to Dorito, and no one wants to lose to Dorito in a 1v1 because he doesn't play 1v1, but he didn't have to play 1v1 today, but he looked excellent in 3s and 2s against I
mean, Johnny, is this going to be the icing on the cake? Who's going to have the undefeated run all the way through to the grand final? I'm guessing that winning the 3s for Oxygen is just a must at this point.
I think, they've definitely got a chance in every game mode. I've liked what I've seen from them. They're undefeated as well. And, we saw this in North America where G2 made that grand final, or the upper final, I should say, against version 1, who everybody was saying that's the team this format's made for. They're the Vitality in North American qualifier, basically. But Oxygen are not actually coming into this with the same history as G2. G2 were really struggling in game modes that were not 3v3. They were just 3v3 in their way into the upper final. Oxygen have won the 2v2 and the 1v1 in the previous round, and then they won the 1v1 in the round before that, lost the 2v2. So I think they've got a good chance to take down Vitality in any game mode. Definitely the underdogs for me, but they've got more of a shot here than I think G2 did in NA.
It's mad to think, isn't it, that we're thinking about two teams who are undefeated in this competition up to this point, and yet one still is so heavily regarded as the favourite to the other. But, I mean, we move. Jorby, whoever loses this match, does have that second chance in that lower bracket. They've got that little buffer. But they were facing off against Monkeys, coming off the back of a 3-0 stomping. But every way which points to danger for whoever loses this match.
Yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't be surprised if these two meet again in the grand finals, but you absolutely can't count out Monkeys. Unless Zen's down there, then I might. But until we see what that matchup is, I'll hold my tongue. But both of these teams, excellent in every single mode, and this should be an exciting one.
Yeah, I feel like coming into the lower bracket, straight off a loss, and you've got to compete again straight away to then try and make it back into the grand final. It's painful, but Oxygen have that experience under their belt. Each and every individual on that roster has that. They have that experience, don't they, Johnny?
Yeah, they do. And, Ixo's been added in. He looks like he's fitting in brilliantly in place of Rise in 3v3. Joreuz and Ixo are looking good in 2v2 as well. I'm not, trying to sell you guys on just a false promise here. I think Oxygen definitely have a chance in any game mode. 1v1 is the one everybody's really interested in because Zen is he's in terrifying form. But like I said earlier in the show, Joreuz has taken down Zen in games before. And he did it with a defensive playstyle. So I'm excited to see if he brings that out against Zen today.
He's not in good form. He's not in great form. He's in terrifying form, is what Johnny just said. That's pretty extreme, Jorby. We need to remind our viewers as well, this is a best of 7. So regardless of the additional games that you have, the additional rounds, you still got to come out of the gates hot, right?
Yeah, you do. You need to win your early games. Like every game mode is important, especially if you feel disadvantaged in another mode. And like Johnny was saying, I think Oxygen do have the best chance in the skill modes against Vitality with the 3 teams that are left. So if Joreuz can take down Zen, I mean, that'd be a great win for him. And obviously, Joreuz and Ixo in 2v2 would be quite the effort to win against Zen +1, which is, I think they like employing both Alpha and Radosin for 2v2, depending on how they feel.
In that ones match, I feel like it'd be a great win, but also a great massive confidence boost for Oxygen as well. But, time will tell. Before we go into this match, I want your predictions from both of you. Johnny, hit me with your prediction. Give me a scoreline, roughly. What do you think?
I've got to go Vitality. I think Oxygen have got a shot here. I think Vitality are the better team at the moment. And I think it's probably going to be 4-2. I'm not entirely sure what game modes Oxygen are going to take, but I think their best chances are in the 3v3 and the 2v2.
Okay, what about yourself, Jorby? Come on, give me a scoreline. Are we going to go against? Come on, let's butt some heads. Come on, at least a little bit.
Yeah, I love button heads, Banks. It's one of my favorite things to do on the desk, but I can't pick against Vitality right now. If I picked against the player that literally just hit a Psycho yesterday, I would be doing myself and the fans a disservice. Let's be honest. It's Vitality for me until I see otherwise.
Well, it's time for our upper bracket final of our Rocket League tournament here at Gamers Without Borders. Just 3 best of 7s, and we will have a champion in this competition. Spaceman, Lemon Kiwi, take us in.
I love when Jorby feels very confident about something, because it usually means either it's going to be a blowout or we're getting the exact opposite. Spaceman Lemon Kiwi. This is Oxygen Vitality, and this is the upper bracket final. One of these teams going to the grand final, the other jumping down and facing off against a very hot lower bracket squad. But the most important factor here, a best of 7 situation. We're going to get 1s, we're going to get 2s. It could go the distance, but Lemon Kiwi, these are the 2 best teams in the tournament. This one's going to be fun.
Yeah, 1st and 3rd seed to, our expectations. It's in the script. The only thing that we were maybe expecting was BDS, our 2nd seed, to make it farther, but a lot of favoritism behind Vitality. Although I think Oxygen, Jorius, you heard Johnny on the desk, has that defensive playstyle, has beaten Zens in 1s before, but also Oxygen had a different look yesterday in their 2s, bringing EXO instead of Archie in the 2s, and I thought they looked that much more aggressive and just fresh on the field.
And if you're going into this as Oxygen, I think Johnny makes a good point. Like, look, through the 3s, through the 2s, maybe that's your road to victory. Prosperity is going to be tough against Vitality. There's no question that the best player on the field is Zen at this moment in time, and how he looked yesterday. The cycle shot says it all. Everybody saw it. We all know what's coming. So if you're going to get him out of the way, maybe if Oxygen lose this first best of 3, this first 3s game, they instead play Zen early, try to get him a little bit nervous. But I think the road to victory here for Oxygen is you have to beat Vitality in the 3s. You can't afford for this to come down to a Game 7 situation where you're struggling to maintain possession of the ball. You're struggling to shut down Alpha 54 and Zen. We saw it yesterday. That duality, that duo, very reminiscent of Daniel Beastman over in V1 in North America. They are that good together. They can win a game on their own in a 2v3 situation. Quick predictions. We don't often do it here, but Lemon Kiwi, how do you think this one's going to go? Are we going the distance, or is it going to be a quick series for Vitality?
I gotta side with the desk about Vitality. They've only dropped 1 game. It was their 3s in the very first match of the bracket, where, everyone kind of gets those nerves out of the way. We heard it in the interviews. The pressure on day 1 is huge. Oxygen lost their 2s match against it was an OT, lost their 3s match against Mexican Amigos. And Oxygen just overall have maybe closer score lines to some of their competition, while as I feel like Vitality are stomping their way through to the winner's bracket. But this is day 2. It's a whole different ball game than yesterday. Who knows how people slept? Did they get their snackies, their juice boxes in? And how are they going to perform on the day? That's what matters. We're in the winner's final, where the winner is guaranteed top 2 and a minimum of $250,000 for their chosen charity.
I mean, these are one of the instances where you're going to get the best of the best when it comes to European Rocket League. So Oxygen Esports Team Vitality, a best of 7. This is the upper bracket final for Europe. And one of these teams, again, granted that grand final spot. And starting off, almost a double tap to open up the proceedings, as Zen wanted to make his presence known. And we expect nothing less from the young one.
And I think Alpha, that captain for Team Vitality, helps them out. And Spirits also scoring a lot yesterday. Excited to see EXO just fit like a glove with this roster of Oxygen too. But Vitality, this pressure, this offense is relentless. The demos too. Zen couldn't catch that. Jorius with the clear goes right to Alpha. Team Vitality have Oxygen in this chokehold as Alpha gets it in first.
And you're going to be worried about this consistent pressure as Alpha waited on his own pad and popped it high and free. This is what he does best. In space, no one better. And towards the backboard, the pressure began, but on the opposite side of the field is where the goal comes from. 1-0 lead for Vitality very quickly. Oxygen have to find a way to respond.
This could have been 1-0 even earlier if that double tap right off the kickoff would have hit. I mean, Team Vitality definitely brought the energy. Here's Oxygen. The clears were there, surely, but it's Vitality again in the blue end. So what can Oxygen do besides clear? You see Jorius following up, EXO passing it to Jorius, maybe going for the bump, and it works out.
Yeah, you're going to have to keep the aerials in front of you if you are Oxygen, and that's where you can get EXO to get comfortable like he does here. Wins the 50 against Zen. Jorius just clears house, does enough of a smoke screen to leave the left post open. That's a nice recovery and response from Oxygen to immediately go downfield and capitalize on the stagnant defense Vitality had.
The execution is there. Oxygen can breathe some oxygen after that one. And I have stopped breathing if I'm Vitality. That's back-to-back within 10 seconds.
That is a ridiculous read from EXO. Beautiful touch through the corner. The elbow shot. We've seen this from this kid. It's almost a staple at this point, all the way back when he was in Rivals Series. I think season 9 back in the day. But this is a fun time to be an Oxygen fan. A new roster, a new cadence, new poise for this squad. The offense is potent. Some nice decals on the field as well. Go check out the Rocket League Esports shop. You'll find all that kind of stuff there. And sharply off the backboard it goes as Oxygen will have a 2-1 lead for the moment, but how long will it last before finally the counterattack downfield, and we're seeing Vitality now to start make their press.
At least Oxygen having those signs of life initially, but Team Vitality strike back. What a pass to Zen.
And there's a double commit, and that's just a back clear to the corner. And a beautiful recovery on that offensive third right there from Vitality. Small mistake from Oxygen. Get punished for it. Tie game yet again. This is what you'd want in a game one of this caliber. Long series, best of 7. You lose one, you're fine. You have a game to recover, but it's all about setting cadence. And the precedent towards the ceiling continues to be a neutral ball for the moment. Pressure here for Oxygen. And the clear does come through. Vitality will begin their approach.
I like to see these aggressive offenses get stifled too. It feels like there's very aggressive positioning in the box when the offense does get set up, and we've seen back-to-back executions within, 2 minutes? We've had 4 goals. So it says a lot about now how the defenses have to set up and be more aware of what's coming. Oxygen at least getting it through the midfield as Jorius tapping it right to Alpha. Right below him is Radosin. And there is Ixo, alive and well, getting up into the air, not letting Vitality pass through. Radosin, under some pressure, takes it to the sky.
Radosin, Fennec in hand, trying to work around 2, but Ixo will cut down the play before here comes Zen on a nice center. Alpha leaves it. Radosin back in recovery, and he won't get there in time. Played the boost, but the quick jump at midfield. Nicely done yet again. Ixo recognizing the space he has available and pokes it free for a goal.
And this is the new third for Oxygen, just coming in very recently from Luminosity. A lot of hype behind this player, but with every third, we came into this bracket questioning if Oxygen's threes were going to be as strong as everyone else's, including Vitality. And Ixo, like I said, is almost a huge upgrade. But that response right back, 3-3 going into the second half.
Zen wins a kickoff and Alpha closes the deal. So almost like we're going back to ones for the moment. But again, back and forth we go, 3-3. How this game one goes, it's up to anyone's flip. But here, you come into this if you're Oxygen, and we've just got confirmation, yes, that Goffs is a sub. No, it's not Archie with a different tag. We were wondering. And thank you so much, production, for letting us know. But that's going to be an interesting thing. So this brings a wrinkle into the conversation here. We'll try to figure out what Archie's situation is, but Goff's falling in. And Archie, of course, a deadly striker on this squad. Now, you lose that opportunity on the offensive side of the ball. You lose that production as well. What does the value look like now for Oxygen?
I mean, just incorporating that sub and threes in a match that matters a lot. Of course, there is that lower bracket, but maybe you're not too worried about 2s and 1s. I'm worried about what Radosin's cooking, though. What a shot. What a reset. Vitality up 1.
Radosin on his own has 3 in front, but puts it on an absolute dime, and Jorius does not have enough to pinch it from the side.
Yeah, Vitality. Do they have the edge when it comes to this threes match when Oxygen are playing that sub? And like I was saying before Radosin respectfully interrupted me, Jorius and Ixo should be expected for 2s, and of course Jorius for 1s. We'll see how Goffs is either going to add to this equation or just let Jorius and Ixo run the front. For now, it's Alpha kicking things off. Zen to the side will receive this. Vitality, a bit low on boost. Alpha ready to receive this pass. Jorius to the corner and gets the clear.
A 1-goal lead for Vitality. Overextension there from Radosin. Here comes more chances, as that one will precariously swing around to the adjacent corner, and Zen will fall off the play, and Radosin tries to make his move, but Goff playing nicely off the backboard, trying to find this clear, but the takeaways have been too much from Vitality. Struggling now as Oxygen don't have a lot of boost, and they're starting to get starved. Ball hangs in the front of the net. Jorius needs to find this clear, and he needs to find it quickly.
And Jorius is let loose. Good challenge from Radosin, but it's to Goffs, and Alpha knew what was coming. Good read. Ixo applies the pressure, and Vitality bleed 4-4 with 44 seconds left.
I mean, where are Oxygen in this game without Ixo? What are they able to find without this kid? Constantly applying pressure upfield, constantly applying pressure through the corner on a beautiful dish. 4-4, 44 on the clock. Chat, make a wish. Make a wish. Jorius off the kickoff, trying to 1v1. Goff's going to miss the touch, leaves it to Ixo. Of course he will. Does he have another one?
But for Oxygen, lastly, they had all 3 members involved in that play, and you like to see Goffs just energetic on the field, brought right in, warmed up, ready to go. EXO demo, 3-on-2 for Oxygen. Goffs to the corner, follows up, setting up Jorius. In the way is Radosin. Just trying to get this out. EXO doesn't get the read. Jorius back. Oxygen with the last play to end game 1 in their favor. Very close call. Goffs can't keep it in either.
Yeah, but Vitality might. Radosin's up. He does get demoed. It touches. Beautiful hunt down there from Oxygen. Everybody hold your breath. Here we go. Golden goal opportunity here in game 1. Start this off in a best of 7. Threes has been Vitality, Oxygen, trading blows back and forth. But EXO's been a star stomper here. And Jorius just circling, trying to get physical, does so. It's up to Goffs on the defensive end to have to get up to the backboard and meet this ball.
Yep, to the corner it goes. Radosin grabs corner boost and the ball. Zen keeps Oxygen in their end for now. Zixo patrols, at least stops the attack, if not going for the clear. Alpha to the sky, right below him is Radosin, but Team Vitality can't seem to keep this ball long enough. Oxygen trying to stop this, but clears are difficult to get. Vitality applying shot after shot. How is this gonna end at this point? Oxygen can't breathe, and I'm still holding my breath. And Vitality, 1 minute, still nothing.
That's a huge demo. It cuts down the counterattack, and it's left up to Jorius to have to get an awkward flip. You got EXO falling into the net, and you'll play it safely on the back pass, but is that a mistake? It is a mistake. Zen capitalizes, and Vitality picked the pocket of Oxygen. It was a bad touch, and Jorius did all he could, but Goffs gaffs at this one, and Zen finds the final goal.
What an attack from Vitality. 1 minute gone by, and to be expected when it felt like they dominated that overtime. A lot of offensive power there. Vitality, the team favorite, going up against a team with a different third, or their substitute third, and Vitality have to go to overtime to stretch this game 1. And then it will be Oxygen picking either 2s or 1s. And Space, I'm not feeling like 1s would be the choice with Zen playing this good this early.
I mean, you'd want to get Zen uncomfortable, but I don't think that's really a thing. I mean, other than like maybe day 1s. At this point, he's warmed up. Oxygen looked really good in this game. There was really not a huge chip in the armor. The defense was clearing the ball away effectively, other than the one stretch where Vitality were able to starve them. This was just trading shots back and forth, and we do have to bring up the fact that, again, Goffs is a sub for Oxygen. Archie is not currently in. We're not sure what the situation might be, but without EXO, and a couple additions from Jorius, right? Like, they're really not in this game. EXO was closing the deal and punishing Vitality through the corner consistently in this game 1. But Vitality, just a little bit too overwhelming at the midfield. You have one small mistake. Jorius tried to go for the back pass, fighting for possession. Vitality clear it away on a 50, and Zen finds the final golden goal. So this is a very close start to this series, what we would expect for this best of 7. Now comes down to the decision of, do you want to play 1s or 2s? I think in this instance, even though game 1 was close, you might want to get Zen out of the way and just see what Jorius can bring to the table, because Jorius has played him close in prior matchups, and Jorius is a 1s god in his own right. So I like this call from Oxygen. Let's see if it pays off.
I was thinking maybe you'd want to bring EXO in for the 2v2. He had all 4 goals for Oxygen. He's playing lights out, but Jorius wants to settle this with Zen, and it's not a good start for him, at least. Zen up 1-0.
Well, that's a hell of a way to start things off. Jorius tried to go over top. Zen goes underneath. And there you go. That's the result. Zen getting things going early. He'll begin the proceedings with a 1-0 lead just 9 seconds in.
And Johnny said on the desk that Jorius has beaten Zen before with a more defensive play style, so maybe it'll be a more wait and see from him. Now he's on the attack. Zen crosses in front of the net, challenges. Who recovers this ball? Zen watches it land, carries it through. Jorius tries to cut him off, can't flip in time. 2-0 Zen.
And he plays on the outside, so when the pinch comes through on the 50, he's going to have the better angle here. Jorius circles, and no matter what you do, Zen is just going to body block that into the left corner. That Octane is nice, but the Fennec is better. What a way to
And
start.
also better at cracking ankles, it feels like. I mean, kind of that deja vu play that Jorius just tried to go for. Zen had the better timing on the defense. See, Zen with the ball again. Good control up in the air, and the demo too. Oh my God, this is kind of BM.
Clear house. He got him right here. Jorius has to fall back, meet the ball in transition, and Zen can just headhunt through the goal line. It's a 3-0 lead. We're not even a minute into this. And for as much as we've touted Joreus defensively, which has not changed, the conversation remains the same. This is a deficit you're going to have to work through. But in one, anything is possible with this much time.
We have the best ones player of Zen versus arguably the top 3 ones player of Joreus. He gets to turn around and get his first one in. 3-1 still for Zen.
And that's just a great response from Joreus here to, again, win the 50, get back in time, and not worry about the pressure from Zen, because you're thinking, okay, the bump, right, you're going to get thrown off the play. But Joreus is smarter than a lot of people give him credit for. And here we go. Cuts the deficit down by 2 off the opening kickoff. Zen recovers, wins it around 1, and does such a nice job with the Fennec to keep the ball in front, playing it low, and getting himself a 3-goal lead.
Joreus grabs boost and challenges it high, which Zen still was able to keep the ball at the end. So Joreus just not able to stop Zen once he gets that ball rolling. Literally and metaphorically too, as the kickoff goes to Joreus immediately, and he's just going to tuck this away before Zen challenges. You never know where that ball is going to go. Now Joreus has control, tries to pull a Zen here, who challenges perfectly, goes to the corner, and Joreus has to fight for it.
It's good patience from Joreus, but he's got no boost, and he'll just try to play back to the midfield. Zen recognizes this opportunity, though Joreus gets the grab and the second. He should have enough to be able to stop this push. Watches the eventual reset come through and clears it cleanly. What a beautiful rotation and transition from Joreus. Holy cow. This is absurd. Wins it, follows up immediately on the second touch, and sends it on its way.
That's the type of punish you can get in ones. There's no goaltenders, no 2s, there's no 3s, there's no friends to back you up. It's all up to you. That mental pressure can be a lot. It is the winner's bracket, so, or the upper bracket, so you get a second chance no matter what. It's best of 7-2. You're not going to match point whatever the result is, but no one's been able to beat Zen in the ones, and he was hitting just casually psychos yesterday, so Joreus has a tough task, but it's not the first time he's dueled against him. Staying in a shadow, though, only down by 2. Zen able to race back. Gives Joreus back the ball to the back wall. Zen waits. Joreus patient.
Zen?
And finds the crack in the wall and punishes.
Zen? Brother? Brother, what are you doing, bud? This was just a bit of a misplay. Yeah, it just falls down. Joreus patiently. It's okay, chat. It's fine. It's okay. Everybody breathe. Copium. It's fine. Listen, he's got a 1-0 lead. Joreus brings it right back. Off the kickoff again. He'll get the midfield grab, play it to his own corner. Zen likes to do this often. He wants to take a second look at the approach. And he'll wait. Joreus tries to creep up slowly. Here comes Zen. Pops it high. Joreus out of position. He might not get there in time, but cuts it quickly and does just enough, has enough in the tank to be able to slow that play down.
Wasn't sure if Joreus was able to get there, and I think Zen thought that too. Trying to bring that ball, position it to the left side. Barely a save. As Joreus with back-to-back goals, climbing back in this ones match, where Zen has been dominating everyone in the bracket, but so has Joreus in these moments. Zen with the 50. Oh, Joreus able to recover quickly and saves.
And Joreus might get out here free from the ceiling. Gonna hold the reset. Here comes Joreus and baits him perfectly down to the ground. Nicely played. For Oxygen, it's a tie game, but for Joreus, it's a statement from the ceiling.
Ooh. Good placement too when Zen was diving. Joreus a smart player, as you pointed out, and this was what, a 4-1, 4-2 lead for Zen that is now closed to tie, and Joreus warming up in the second half. Zen challenges, and Joreus reads it better. He takes the lead.
Beautiful recovery on the kickoff. Got Zen doing dances and a Euro step to the back of the net. A lead for Joreus. 2 minutes to play. Is this the call that it was correct going into game 2, playing ones and trying to get Joreus on the board first? Or does Zen have enough in the Fennec to tie this game up? You'd think so, absolutely. And he'll play it back towards his own corner, but sends it towards the midfield. Joreus going to try to recover and meet this ball on the chow. Before Zen slows, working his way around, doesn't like the angle, he'll fall off.
Zen takes to the skies. Joreus ready for the dive. Zen slows down the ball and fakes him out. That's disgusting. 5-5.
Well, you get a little taste of your own medicine, Joreus, from the ceiling on the opposite side. A couple of goals ago, and Zen, there he goes. Nice bait. Good finish.
Oh, man. And just thinking about game one, Zen, 2 goals, 4 shots. Joreus more on the defensive side of things. Still involved, 2 shots, 1 save. Zen right out the gate swinging and keeps on hitting. He ain't stopping. 6-5.
I mean, this is just what Zen does best, right? Like holding his spot after the kickoff, doesn't get bullied off the ball, and immediately puts it on target. I mean, there's only so much you can do if you're Joreus. There's really only so much you can try to counter with, because Zen is just always going to have a shot. Speaking of, Joreus has to pop it free. Has nothing to clear this away, and very awkwardly sends it to the corner, but it's the only play he can make.
Oh, Zen. Oh, tried to bring it to the right side. Great save by Joreus. Recovery, though, back to Zen. Just places it in his own corner. Sees the approach. Joreus being patient with it. Heavier touch from Zen. Joreus doesn't go for it yet. Positions in the net. Zen.
Oh, my God.
Just embarrasses him. Oh, my God.
Oh, Joreus, put the controller down. Take a breather. Drink some water. Zen, goodbye. It was nice knowing you. Thanks for donating to the lead.
Just the way Zen just plays with this food, it feels like. The bait, the fakes, and like you said, there's only so much Joreus can do. He's an incredibly smart player. And Zen is just juking him out. But Joreus, it's cat and mouse. And he's on the tail, and Zen is in the net. It's 3 in a row, I think.
Yeah, I think he's in Joreus's head. The nerves might be kicking in because interesting camera angle, but Joreus just gets baited. I mean, it's a good positioning off ball from Zen on the follow through, but Joreus, I think, tried to play either a 50 or rolled awkwardly, and it doesn't matter. And that one might be a 9-5 game, depending on how this eventual swing will go. Joreus backs out, and he's gotten baited 4 times in a row. It has been nonstop pressure, and Zen has had the same look. This is insane.
Fun kickoff, too, with the delay as Joreus hit it right to Zen. Was able to walk past him, smile and wave, and put it in the back of his net. 39 seconds left. Down by 4 is Joreus. If he doesn't have more of a shout to this, Vitality will be up 2-0 in the series. Not match point yet. Joreus flicks it high to the cross, and Zen gets the clear. Right behind them, though, is Joreus, 6 boost. Able to take the ball away for now. Zen having more resources, pressures Joreus, takes it up, has the reset, 60 boosts and less, almost to the upper 90. How does he get that done? 10-5.
There's just not enough time on the clock, and there's not enough you can pull out of your Joreus. The reset, the juggle, the reset again, 2 in a row. Are you kidding me, kid? Are you kidding me? 10-5. 13 seconds. Let me get you. I'm going to lie to you. I think it's Jover. I think it's all Jover.
Yeah. Feels that way.
My goodness.
Joreus. GG there. GG in the chat. 11-5. We'll see what kind of high score Zen will set. But I was not expecting a high score just as the game started 4-1, something like that. 4-2 for Zen. Joreus creeps up, even takes the lead at 1.5-4.
Yeah.
And then Zen just turned his energy levels to 9,000 and took over the game.
I mean, Kiwi, we weren't even 45 seconds into this game, and it was a 3-0 lead for Zen, but Joreus started to make the comeback. And then you also look at the final score, it's 11-5. So, like, there's stages here, folks. There's opportunities here. But somebody check Zen's computer, because he's currently up 2-0 thanks to that performance. And we know the stat pattern is going to be insane when it comes to the MVP of this series. Already, he's making a very good case. Again, pokes the ball free in game 1 to help Vitality secure the win, and absolutely dismantles the poor child that is Joreus in this game. I mean, it was close for like 45 seconds, and then after it was all Vitality, all Zen, a 2-0 lead in the best of 7, and he looked primed to go up to series point to potentially book a ticket to the grand final.
Just the different styles that Zen was able to incorporate, both using physicality, bringing the demos against Joreus in the first half or so. Mm-hmm. To flip resets, just juking it out, slowing the ball down. So when you thought Zen was playing fast, he was actually just bringing the ball slower, getting bounces that Joreuz couldn't read. And it was fun to watch Zen just play the mental game against Joreuz in the 1v1. And that's why I was hoping for a 2v2 where I felt like Ixo had a strong start for Oxygen and you could kind of bounce off those negative vibes with someone else and balance it out. But we go to game 3 with Vitality up 2-0.
And look, right, when we go into that ones, that was a good call from Oxygen. Like, Joreuz is one of the best defensive ones players you're gonna find in a circuit like this, and also a really good matchup against Zen, because you got Zen, uber cerebral, uber talented on the offensive side of the ball, obviously in the spatial awareness, but we're expecting a lot from Joreuz. He brought it, but then Zen stepped it up to a different level and proved why, you know, this kid's in the conversation of the next coming when it comes to Rocket League. Like, that's what everybody wanted to see. We wanted to know how he would adjust, and the adjustment period's over. He's clearly that good. And here we go into threes yet again. A beautiful redirect back to Joreuz. I like the calls early on from Oxygen, but a must-win game here for Oxygen. You don't want to have to reverse sweep Vitality.
Ooh, Radostin just almost trying to fake out the defense, and you had Vitality commit their second member forward. And that's how game 1 broke down too. Just Vitality biting down right off of kickoff. I think scoring first too. I'd have to look back. Yeah, Alpha had the first goal within the first minute. But Oxygen had a quick response. Even 20 seconds later, they had 2 goals. And we had, what, 4 goals at the end of 1 minute. So offenses were just kicking. And Vitality have met their match clearly as both teams have warmed up.
And I think it's a good sign. Hold on. We'll wait with bated breath as Alpha almost made it a 1-0 game. I think it's a good sign for Oxygen that, 1, you haven't come out and given up a goal like you did in game 1 to start here. But 2, they've been meeting a lot of the aerial challenges. We saw it with Joreuz to kick off essentially what was a push downfield before it eventually fell through. But oh my, Radostin, beautiful read. Great challenge on the goal line and just sends it on its way for the opening goal.
Alpha pushes Joreuz around and know what was happening. Radostin was fishing and caught a big one. Vitality up 1-0. The 90 seconds that have gone by. Vitality, their offenses, they just strangle you out. Oxygen got a clear and Ixo thought he had a moment. Goffs at least exchanges that demo, 2-on-2. Vitality have their defense back up. Zenz buys time, drops it to the midfield to Alpha, and Goffs has to jump to save.
Bit of time burned here. It's a best of 7 still. You got a long way to go if you're Vitality, but for Oxygen, it feels like you're down 3 games at this point with how it's gone. The mental, I'm sure, a little bit different after that 1v1. A goal to get things going would certainly help, and maybe the momentum needs to be swung back as you got Zen with the reset, looking for the bump, the recenter, and here comes Radostin trying to close the deal. This kid is unreal, and Alpha 54 will have to play on his own side of the field to keep this one alive, but Vitality look threatening from any angle.
And to shut that down right at the goal line, as Zen loves to slow down the play and catch the defense off guard, just like he did against Joreuz in the 1v1. And somehow this is only 1-0 Vitality, whose offenses just never stop. Double commit, Ixo trying to glide it through the right side. He gets stopped. Oxygen have a moment to breathe, but Vitality are just grabbing boost. They're coming back for more. Zen has the ball to Alpha, off the cross. Oxygen block. How do they have any time, any space to work with? Zen won't let them.
Joreuz is cleared out as well. And look, you can't even let Ixo overextend upfield. He's got no time. There's really no space here. The gaps are closed, and Vitality, as a chokehold, are suffocating Oxygen out of their own side. That fake is ridiculous. That recovery from Alpha, looking for the center. Ixo has to fly out and immediately clear. But you're low here on the canister side before Ixo finally grabs the big pad, and with that, maybe a chance. The boys in blue try to make their march, but back to the midfield, and yet again, Vitality are there to meet the challenge again. The ball is theirs. Possession. Zen giving it to Radostin. I like the call. And that mismatch on the 1-2. Oxygen making the read.
Every Oxygen clear has been refunded, sent back. And this is just too much. The bounce from Vitality to the upper 90. Oxygen can only block so much.
I mean, they can only do so much, too. There's just not enough people on the field to stop this team. Vitality have complete control of this game at the moment. They've had complete control of this series outside of a couple of swings from game 1. The pressure was there. Oxygen showed their best. Small mistake leads way, and it seems like the mentality has been a bit checked. I'm sure those comms are very interesting right now for Oxygen, and would love, if we ever have the chance to do a listen in, that'd be great. But, you know, I'm genuinely curious what they're saying, because you're obviously playing with a different situation. Archie is not here. You have a sub in for Goffs, but it just has not gone their way.
Even when Oxygen got outshot in game 1, they still stretched it to OT. Like, yeah, they lost, but it was close, right? So Oxygen, if they're getting outshot, can they tie the score at least just purely off of the execution, off the maybe the small opportunities that they have? EXO with one to crack through the left lane. It's slowed down, but Joreuz continues. Goffs maybe ready in the box. He falls back. Team Vitality not letting Oxygen set up. Now a moment for Goffs. Not a lot of boost. Grabs the corner. Shot from Joreuz. I thought Alpha had that.
And this is what they were trying to set up for so long. You had Joreuz making these pre-jumps at midfield. You got EXO working through the corner, which is standard for Oxygen. And finally, the third man gets a chance with some space to catch and shoot, and a slap shot to the center net. 31 seconds to go. Oxygen breathing life back into their own chest. Do they have enough?
But in the last 30 seconds, though, that's what you need. Everyone, positive spirits, morale. Goffs in the box, and no one challenged. They went for the block instead. So Oxygen tie.
Hold on a moment. It is winnable. And EXO from the backboard, he just had to get free. He's a little gremlin. We kept him chained up, and finally he breaks free, and look what happens. Goff steps up. EXO from the corner, and Joreuz is stealing it from the ceiling. Oxygen Esports, out of nowhere, have started to tie up this game, and under 20 to play, Joreuz wins a huge 50.
Almost a nice setup. EXO ready to center this out for Goffs. He does it again at 9 seconds. Oxygen have taken the lead from an 0-2 deficit.
EXO with the interception and Goffs with the placement. Vitality cannot clear. Goffs is stepping up. Hold on. Everybody,
hold on.
Get your socks on. We got a series on our hands. 9 seconds to go. Zen gonna try to play the kickoff. Vitality trying to make a swing. Clock turned off. 3 seconds to go. Radosin on the pass. Alpha popping it high. You got Zen underneath and Radosin working through the corner. And you're looking for a clear here. Obviously, Oxygen trying to get numbers in front, and they will. Oxygen Esports stealing away this game 3 in ridiculous fashion. The sub steps up. EXO breaks free, and Joreuz does Joreuz things. We got a series on our hands.
When game 1 ended 12 shots to 9, Vitality didn't have to outshot them and ended up winning at the end. But Oxygen, even if they're down shots, they know how to stay in the shadow of Vitality. I got to look at the stats at the end of this, because I thought this was a Vitality match point. You're up 2-0. Your offense is setting up camp in the blue end. Oxygen stuck there forever up until the last minute, where the clears from Oxygen are actually followed up. Joreuz is able to lead through the midfield. Look at those shots. 12 plus 5, 17 to 3. Like, come on.
Chat, I want you guys to take note. 17 shots for Vitality to 3 for Oxygen, and Oxygen wins that game. That's it. That's the analysis for this series. For that game alone. Like, we're going to twos next. Mathematically, that's what we have to do. That's the story. It was absurd, the pressure Vitality were putting on, and Oxygen worked through it. I don't know how that will go down as one of the most entertaining games we've had so far this entire event. That is insane. And now we're given twos, which just means, of course, we're going to get Joreuz and I would assume EXO, because Archie's out. Regardless, you'd want those two together. Alpha and Zen, no new surprises here for Vitality. This one should be fun. Joreuz finally has a teammate, so he doesn't have to face Zen alone. This is a good thing.
What a mental boom from Vitality, where you just played so well throughout and drop the ball to Oxygen. You give them an inch and they go for a mile. And Oxygen not only get the tying goal, but the lead in the last 30 seconds. And off of Goffs, I believe, with the tying goal and the lead there. And that's why I was a bit surprised maybe if Goffs was really feeling himself. He was playing well off of Joreuz on the front line. But EXO and Joreuz had won the twos match, I believe, against... Oh, I'd have to pull up my bracket. But the last time they went to twos, and they looked that much better. It was Archie and Joreuz at the start, and then that went to OT, and I believe they lost that, or didn't look as good. So I like this change for Oxygen.
Well, you're going to get, again, just pure offense. Great fake. Leaves it for EXO. It was a beautiful call. You can tell those comms are white hot right now as Oxygen again, try to make their press, but you're going to have to worry about what Alpha's position, right? You know Zen, when he gets space, he's going to be double resetting, I guess, hitting psychos off the backboard, but Alpha just also a problem, a nuisance upfield as he is now. Is looking for the pass, but instead leaves it. And we'll fall back in transition. This will be Vitality's ball.
And if Zen tries to slow down the play and go for fakes the way he did in the ones, there's that extra person you have to account for. Another person reading the play, but the cross is what stops Zen this time. This challenge from Alpha wanted to turn this around on Oxygen. Now 2-on-1 maybe. Zen can't stop this, and Ixo and Oxygen up 1-0.
I'm trying to think. I think Ixo just body blocked him here, and that's a long clear down field. It bounces favorably. And no, it was Joris who body blocked, so there
Zen
you go.
Yeah. I thought Zen was in a position, but I think, yeah, he's just getting chased around by Joris it was there, but good start for Joris and Ixo. Since usually Zen and the ones struck first and struck early too, within the first 5 seconds.
Yeah.
So that's why I was wondering if Oxygen were going to feel better in the twos, and looking like so. Alpha and Zen in the 2-on-1. Ixo buys time. Zen has the ball. Ixo trying to rob him. Team Vitality stand tall, but can't seem to find the gap yet.
3 minutes to play. A lot of time here, obviously, for Zen and Alpha. If they have 2 seconds, you're worried about a shot. But Joris gives it back to Alpha, who will take away possession for Vitality. You do have a demo, which means, okay, a chance. But I don't know if Joris just misflipped or didn't get the touch. We'll have to watch in the replays. Alpha sent it down at long range. Joris grabs boost and just kind of own goals there. Doesn't really do much. So chalk it up. It's chalk it up to nerves or something. Vitality, 1-1.
Sure, Oxygen just feel really good after that comeback. I mean, momentum coming into this game was big, but Team Vitality are not a team that get mentally shook. Alpha wins the kickoff after a cheat up and is able to get the second touch into the net. Works out for Vitality.
What was a 1-0 lead with a lot of time killed is now a 2-1 with under 3 minutes to play. Now, conversation swings back to Oxygen as they try to equalize and tie up this game 4 on Coliseum. It's been back and forth, but Joris in a 1v1 will win the battle for now. Up to the ceiling. Got Ixo in transition, will meet the read and just slows this down to the turf yet again. That 50-yard line controlled by Vitality. Alpha playing with his food here on the race set and gets it over again. Joris didn't have enough space and Alpha has all the answers.
Yeah, we've talked about Joris being this defensive player, and he waits and pre-jumps pretty late, and a ball gets above him. And Team Vitality up 3-1. Not an inescapable lead, but a strong one. But just like we saw in the last threes game, do we really care about a Team Vitality lead until the clock hits 0? Oxygen always got that dog in him, but for now it's Ixo who's able to bring this ball out until Alpha drops it into the net. And Joris can't save it.
Are you joking? The best goal of the day so far. Alpha circling, hunting, and squeezing that like toothpaste out of a very small tube. He's peeking.
Yeah, Vitality peaking. 4-1. Ixo with the ball, looking for Joris. Shot. Alpha redirects himself, but at the back of the net, not able to stop it. 4-2.
Well, he gets it around Zen, and then just a soft touch. Alpha misflips. I mean, he's thinking that's going right post. I don't blame him. It was a better read on the offensive side from Oxygen.
Going into the second half, where Oxygen, maybe just a second half team. I mean, after that last game, I'm feeling it, but it was Goff that was set up for success. Now demos brought out. Vitality have Oxygen, their backs against the wall. Joris trying to 50 the play, just slow down the ball. Everyone chasing each other. Joris to Ixo, one in the net for Alpha. Zen right behind him. And Oxygen can't convert yet, and they can't waste too much time. The clock is draining. Joris drops it to Zen, but he doesn't have control of it. Vitality fight their way through. Oxygen maybe have them trapped, but back to the blue end they go.
It gives it right back to Oxygen. I mean, There really wasn't much you could do with that touch. Maybe try to clamp it on the backboard and swing it down to the corner. But Alpha still, that's an open net, and that should be a goal. But he hits it sharply, and that's one you want back if you're Vitality. You still have a 2-goal lead, but could have been more. Here comes Zen, trying to make up for the mistake of his teammate. Gives it to the midfield. Alpha, not enough for the double tap. Zen underneath, plays it low, and hits the crossbar twice. It happens.
Well, Joreuz, at least for the counterattack. Oxygen are happy that the cross is their friend today. This Vitality only up by 2, but 43 seconds. We've seen Oxygen come back from worse. Drop off by Zen. Stopped at the line. Oxygen coming in with quick pace. The drop off to Joreuz is interrupted as Vitality make the space. All the way downfield it goes. Joreuz waits for the Alpha approach. Is getting bumped around. As Vitality apply the pressure and at least are wasting time from Oxygen. And if this works out, Vitality will go to match point.
Just high-fiving in midfield. Hold on. Oxygen. Trying to make it interesting. Great save. Pokes it free. 9 seconds left, and that one's done. I think that'll do it. I think a 3-goal lead might just do it. 5-2. Vitality will go up 3-1.
Oxygen were setting themselves up so well in the threes. You had to involve all 3 in the play to crack the egg that is the Vitality defense. And Goffs is dearly missed. Of course, the whole team is helping him and setting him up too, but maybe Oxygen will feel better going back to threes, and that'll be how they have to make it happen for them in terms of climbing back in the series. For now, it is Vitality winning the 2s and going to match point.
Well, they have to fight through it, and Oxygen has given them a good run for their money, but this has been the Vitality show. The response from Oxygen has been great, but time and time again for Alpha and Zen, they've stepped up, and it just means we're getting another standard format as we are guaranteed a following game. But this was an interesting start for Oxygen, right? Like positives upfield for sure, body blocking a lot of Vitality, slowing their rolls on the counterattacks, but after a while, it just kind of broke through, and they're seeing a couple of mistakes from Oxygen. Vitality capitalized, and then the individual play from Alpha that was too much for the defense to handle. This is where they started to see that separation, and Vitality did not look back.
I felt like Iso and Joreuz were trying to connect on some passes. They were a little bit longer though, so they gave enough time for Vitality to get in between. So I could tell that Iso and Joreuz are trying to talk to each other in 2s like they did against the Mexican Amigos, I believe, in that match, which they won. And they looked solid together, but this is a different match, different day, and a whole different team. Team Vitality, the favorites to win the whole bracket, and on match point, it's heading that direction unless Oxygen can pull off a miracle like they did in the last threes match.
Yeah, look, this is look, if you're going back to a game mode where you're thinking, okay, it's entirely winnable for Oxygen, threes is probably the one. This is absolutely a chance where Oxygen could send us continuing on a distance where they need to obviously steal this if they don't want to go down a lower bracket. But Vitality look like, hold on, they have everything that they've needed for this entire tournament to basically figure out anybody. Like whether or not you're getting a different Rubik's Cube from Oxygen that you had in game 1, you're going to find an answer, and that's been the case for Vitality. They've had Alpha just working magic in the space. You got Zen off the ceiling, and Radosin, who's been just disgusting and a nuisance up on the goal line of Oxygen for the majority of this series.
German Amigos, the logo threw me off with the sombrero. Okay, it's really over on the West Coast.
Amigos.
Not bad. The rebrand is coming. Hire me. Okay, I got you. It will be Team Vitality on match point, like we said, with a minimum of what, 350K, 250K for their chosen charity.
Yep.
A minimum of that. So this is a lot riding on the line for Team Vitality, who not only need to start strong, but end strong, because that 30-second comeback from Oxygen was not something anyone expected. But they know how to clutch up when it matters.
Well, listen, it feels like the conversation we've had for the majority of this series has been, there's time for Oxygen to work something out, but they're always having to work off a deficit. Zen, the ceiling touch. Are you kidding? Are you kidding? This kid is unreal. Pre-jump downfield, meets it, works off the ceiling. Oh my word.
This is just a Zen ones match, and we're all just living in it. The way he just styles, doesn't need help from anyone. You love to see it. Vitality, strike first blood for them in that case. 1-0. And the offense continues to commit for Oxygen, gives Vitality a chance to have one towards the net-ish, but Oxygen get the clear. And like in game 1, they were trapped for a long time due to not being able to really possess the ball during their clears, but already improvements being made from Oxygen.
They already have the takeaways too, and this one's dangerous as well, and it's a 2-0 lead for Vitality. The counterattack is so lethal. The defense isn't there. Midfield gone. There goes Jorius. Here comes Zen on the handoff, and Ixo can't go anywhere but back.
2 quick ones for Vitality. Little deja vu from... I'm just so traumatized from that game where we thought it was over, and Oxygen, they never give up. And Goff's just fitting that shoe well, just not leaving any gaps, not the one who's going to be the weakest on this team whatsoever.
I mean, Goff's has stepped up. The sub has been the one to kind of be the catalyst for a lot of these different plays. For Oxygen, they have relied on him, and another kickoff that could sneak through. Just a bit wide. Goes off the post. Ixo will try to play this here in advantage for Oxygen. But an immediate takeaway on the backboard, and here comes Alpha again. And there goes another goal for Vitality.
Alpha again. This is why you can build the team around him. I don't even know how he's up there, why he's up there so early, but it works. 3-1 for Vitality, and able to forgive that last one. Always keeping it between a large goal gap between their opponents. Like I kind of mentioned before this match started, Vitality, they don't just win their matches, they stomp them. But Oxygen have always made these matches close against their opponents.
Now, it's another kickoff mistake there for Vitality, but again, this is where Oxygen have been crawling back into this series. When they started working back upfield, and memory serves, what would have been around game number 4, they just relentless off of the kickoff, applying pressure and not allowing these clears off the backboard for Vitality, not giving them a chance to immediately find a teammate downfield. But it hasn't been there. I mean, so much boost to work with for Zen. So much opportunity in the air for Zen.
Give Zen the ball. He makes the magic happen. I mean, another ceiling reset off the backboard. What can this kid not do? There are no weaknesses to Vitality. 1s, 2s, 3s. This is a complete roster that can do it all. But Oxygen, they got a lot of spirit. And Jorius ain't gonna be clowned on again. Pinches off to Goffs, races against Zen, moves him out of the way. Zen, somebody got demoed there, leaves a moment for Ixo to strike. And Oxygen, keep it within 1.
There it is. You need pressure through the corner, and that demo certainly helps. Power play, open, Oxygen close. The biggest negative for Oxygen so far has just been there's nobody on the backboard defensively to stop Vitality. So how do you counter that? You don't give them a chance to get upfield with space. You have to start taking the ball away on their own side. And a beautiful demo that opens up a play. Pressure there. Oxygen, can they continue it? Can they build upon what they've so often been trying to work towards? Immediate 50 win. And at the midfield, Jorius has to make this touch. He won't. Gives it back to Vitality.
That's where I think you give the ball to Ixo. I think he shines so bright in game 1. 4 goals. When you set him for success, he delivers. And with a punch. Oh, chance. I've hyped him up. That's okay. Verdosins just has the reads, and he has the shots too.
I mean, this clear is just gross. Again, a little bit of an overextension there from Oxygen, but Goff's kind of own goals, so there's really not much you need to say, right? He's trying to play that off the backboard and then hope a teammate can rotate back out. It's just... you can't really break that one down. It's just kind of an own goal. But a kickoff win yet again for Oxygen, and a kickoff win again by Oxygen. This has been the story. Vitality looks so good until the kickoffs, and then Oxygen just are back in this game.
Vitality, a first half team. Oxygen, they get buffed in the second half. That's just what the trend is. Vitality and 3s have always gotten the first goal, but Oxygen, they creep up on you when you start to relax, when you start to get comfortable. Oxygen, they turn up, and it's already an offense for them. Jorius stretches high to keep the offense going. Radosin and Zen try to connect. Doesn't work to the corner, though. Oxygen desperate for the clear, and Goff should get it.
I mean, these back passes have been dangerous for Oxygen because they have not slowed the approach from Vitality at all. Traffic on the goal line. Jorius waiting for a chance to move up. And again, Alpha wins another 50 that just makes it more difficult for the counterattack to start as Oxygen don't have numbers up. Ixo on his lonesome. Here comes Jorius in the lane. Good pass to Goffs. The back pass to Ixo. I like the call. 1, 2, 3. Jorius trying to meet it now. But taken away by Vitality. A 1-goal lead with under a minute to play.
Oh, Goffs, Ixo keeping the ball in their hands, but Goffs ran out of boost, gives a chance for Vitality to speed forward, but not following up with it. 45 seconds. Vitality okay with wasting time, but you want to own a little bit more space in this, including the one in front of you. And through the smoke, the fire, and the flames, Oxygen, they come back.
One miss is all that's needed, and Goffs has stepped up time and time again for this team this series. When they've called upon him back in threes just 2 games ago, he stepped up, and now we find ourselves all tied up. 40 seconds to play. Is it another kickoff blunder for Vitality? So far, the answer is no, but Radosin trying to put this away and gets the reset to boot.
Got bumped off the ball, though. And from a 4-1, 4-2 lead for Vitality, shrunk down to 5-5 in the last 30 seconds. If you're a Vitality fan, you're shook. This is the exact time that Oxygen had to come back in the last threes. But Team Vitality, stuffing them in the locker, bringing the physicality, the demos too, taking their boost, making sure Oxygen stay home. But up into the orange end, Vitality not harassed. Last few seconds until OT. Match point for Vitality. Zen going to Alpha, intercepted. Race to the midfield, ball still up in the air. Vitality grab boost, wait for how Oxygen are trying to clear this. It goes all the way down and to the ground for OT.
Oh, golden goal opportunity. 1 goal away for Vitality to go to the grand finals for Oxygen to keep this series alive. They have to be careful on these back passes. I'm starting to get worried. It hasn't worked out often, as Oxygen will try to careen this ball and get possession back. And finally, they do find the clear. Goffs trying to work from the side wall. Gives it to Ixo. The cut down from Vitality, stalling the offense on their push.
Like that, Oxygen are keeping an eye on Zen too. He's been setting up, being aggressive, going for challenges, almost to pinch off the wall that crossed in front of the net. But Oxygen had the reads to not even let that center out. As it's a battle in the midfield, Alpha trying to find Radosin. Oxygen intercept again. They're not letting Vitality talk to each other on the field. Zen has to go above and beyond. It's only one in the net. And Oxygen go to the lower bracket.
Are you kidding? Around 1, the dunk. See you later. Thanks for donating. 6-5 in the end. Zen is too good. MVP of the series, no question. Vitality booked their ticket to the grand finals, and they win this one in dangerous, sometimes convincing, sometimes head-scratching, but in the end, a Vitality fashion nonetheless. Oxygen put up a ridiculous fight, but it was Vitality that are too strong and favorites for a reason. And here are your highlights. There was really not a lot of defense in this game, but it came down to Zen and Zen only, and my goodness, did he put on a clinic.
And the threes games were very close. The first game and the third threes game went to OT. The second threes game decided in the last 30 seconds by Oxygen. Gave themselves another chance at life. Then the Jorius Zen 1v1 felt close in the beginning. Jorius had this comeback around the halfway mark until Zen just turned on the engines and went nitro. It was gross to watch. What, 11 to... So he got 11 goals, 10 or 11 goals. Like, Zen is a different player. And then he brings those ones mechanics to the threes match where he's... I think he got a hat trick just doing solo plays on his own.
Yeah, I mean, the dude can literally 1v3 any team, and when you put him with Alpha 54, who, again, they originally built this Vitality roster around, and just the thing that this team does so well is that they're scoring from everywhere. They look like what RLCSX in early 2021-2022 BDS looked like the team that was just boost management, finding ways to score from every angle in the field, and you're worried about Monkey Moon, you're worried about Extra, like same situation here. Vitality just have better mechanics at this point, and they're just beating everybody just down the door. Oxygen look good, they're playing with a sub, but that's the thing. In the end of the day, there are levels to this, and Vitality are just too strong on the Kiwi.
Well, Team Vitality live on, only dropping, one or two games, a couple games, this whole bracket looking unstoppable. They go to the grand finals to get a minimum of $250,000 for their chosen charity. And on the lower side, up next, we're going to have Monkeys versus Oxygen. That's going to be a match you won't want to miss, but let's hear from the desk about this one.
Zen with the slam dunk for the win, but the real win was Spaceman because he just says things like squeezes it in, like a tube of toothpaste out of a very small tube. Spaceman, I just love it every time. Thank you so much, Spaceman and Lemon. We have our first EU Grand finalist, Jorby. No losses so far from Vitality. They really are continuing that dominant streak, aren't they?
No losses from Vitality, but I'm almost at a loss for words. It almost happened. I mean, Zen, the man is a show stealer. Like, I've never seen a player like him. It's unreal to see Jorius come back in that 1v1 and then for Zen to just lean forward in his chair and absolutely decimate him. And then it happened again in the 3v3. He had that ceiling, we're going to see it again, the ceiling pinch, like pre-flip double tap into the net. Nobody else is doing this kind of stuff, man. Like literally nobody. It is a pleasure, a treat. It is special to watch this kid play. And man, he absolutely rinsed Oxygen.
An interesting start to the series, though, because Oxygen came out hot. Exactly what we wanted from them, piling on the pressure in the threes. But when overtime was just snatched away from them right at the end, then the pressure was added. Zen in the ones. Johnny, those 4 fakes in a row to go from 5-5 to 9-5 for Zen was just out of this world.
Yeah, he's just so scary that he's got Jorius, an experienced 1v1 player, one of the greatest 1v1 players of all time, panic jumping every single aerial defensive play. I mean, Zen is, I think, the scariest player in the world right now, in Rocket League in general. I don't care what the game mode is. This guy is the most intimidating, the most talented, and the highest peak ability that we have ever seen. It's, you know, always a controversial topic when you say things like that as a caster, but it's becoming less and less controversial. I think that, you know, that everybody's kind of warming up to that take and how crazy Zen is.
Oh man, your series highlights on your screens presented by Aramco. We love a change of pace that this format offers, especially because, you know, this is where cracks in the orgs are exposed, but also 1s and 2s players thrive. So it's a chance for our viewers and all of our Rocket League fans to have a look and see how these players play in different formats. But of course, your MVP of the series, brought to you by Savvy Games Group, is Zen. 33 shots in that back and 17 goals, Jorby.
Yeah, 11 of those coming in that 1v1 against Jorius, but had, you know, world beater shots in 3v3 and 2v2 as well. There's just, I mean, what more can I say about him? I feel like we've said everything about him. But, you know, shout out to Goffs on the other side on Oxygen. I thought he played great in the 3v3. He got like 3 or 4 goals for them in between all those games. You know, while Zen might be the star of the show, I thought Goffs came in and played an excellent stand-up series for being the sub.
We're going to see more of them because they slip into that lower bracket final where they will face off against Monkeys. Difficult task, you know, we've already spoken about it. Mentality, momentum, dropping into a lower bracket final against a team who are on a streak of wins. Johnny, any kind of subtle predictions in your mind?
Well, you know, I think Goff's played a great series, but I do favor Monkeys over them if they are going to continue with a sub. And yeah, I think Razier's not too long ago did take down Jorius 4-1 in a best of 7 1v1. So I think that yeah, Monkeys for me have to have the edge there. I think even if Archie was playing, I'd probably still be leaning a little bit towards Monkeys. They're on that lower bracket run with the momentum, like you said, and Oxygen. Yeah, they're competitive. They looked good against Vitality. Well, they looked about as good as you can look against Vitality. You know, it's a difficult matchup whenever you go into the lobby against those guys. But Monkeys, I think, are the team to win that lower final.
Bracket time. Let's check your updated bracket for all of you at home who maybe have missed any of this. And coming into this now, we can remind you of what's happened so far. In our upper bracket final, we just had Team Vitality take out Oxygen Esports 4-1. That means Oxygen Esports will go into that lower bracket final, face off against Monkeys. And the winner of that will go through to the grand final to face off against Team Vitality. A possible rematch on our hands, Jorby.
Yeah, possible rematch. I think we might get it, but I do agree with Johnny that Monkeys are not going to be an easy out, especially if Oxygen do continue with Goffs. I think Monkeys have shown in this tournament that, you know, they're not to be trifled with or looked down on or thought of as a win along the way to the grand final. They are absolutely competitive in every sense. I'm excited to see that Oxygen Monkeys match.
possibly one of the closest matches that we have inbound coming very, very shortly. So we're going to have Monkeys taking on Oxygen Esports right after this break. Don't go anywhere. See you shortly.